Good morning, guys, and welcome to my unboxing and review of the Master Grade Gym Sniper 2 White Dingo Team Custom. This kit I got on Premium Bandai for $42, which is actually remarkably cheap considering what this kit comes with. That's cheaper than the base F90 with no mission packs. This kit released in 2017, and as you can see, the base mobile suit itself is just a recolor of the standard Gym Sniper 2, which released in the same year in that for the White Dingo team, with a massive addition. As you can see in the background from the other two Gym Sniper 2s, this kit comes with a massive arsenal, including the Hyper Bazooka from the EZ8, the beam rifle from the Ground Gundam, this kind of very Ground Gundam, Ground Gym style shield, and of course, that massive sniper rifle. Unfortunately, though, there is a disclaimer on the bottom, I don't think you can read that says that these are all painted models because, unfortunately, because these weapons come from those master grades, which at the time of recording are over 20 years old, none of them have any kind of color accuracy, I'm pretty sure, especially that rifle. I know in particular, this rifle is all in gray, even though massive sections of it are supposed to be in white, and the scope, I believe, is just in plain clear, even though it's supposed to be red. In addition, while the mobile suit itself is mostly just a recolor, the hands are different because these weapons are so old. They have to use those older style master grade hands that I'm pretty sure doesn't have any peg to kind of slot in. And have those like horrible old articulated fingers that can't really hold on to anything. So hopefully that doesn't ruin this kit, because I hear the base Gym Sniper 2 is one of the best kits of 2017. Actually, one of the best recent master grades in general. So yeah, this is a typical Premium Bandai style box with just kind of not even a render. This is just the painted build of the kit that they had on the website, just in monochrome light gray and white. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's crack this box open. 7 bags of runners, as well as the manual for the standard Gym Sniper 2, as you can see from the art on the front, and the painted build on the back, in that very nice kind of two-tone blue color scheme with that green sniper rifle, and this insert for the White Dingo Team Custom, showing off on the runners that came with the original kit what parts aren't going to be used, as well as the new runners for all the weapons. On the other side, we have this decal marking guide, because this being a Premium Bandai release, this does come with water slide decals. And of course, on the inside, we have some instructions for the slight differences of this kit with the standard Gym Sniper 2, as well as all the new weapons. It looks like the head is going to be slightly different. The hands, of course, are going to be different to hold the old weapons, and it looks like the arm assemblies are different. As for the runners themselves, 18 runners, as well as this foil sticker sheet, which looks like it's just going to be for cameras on the kit, which is always good to see. This sheet of water slide decals, because of course it's a Premium Bandai variant, so this is expected and quite nice. And I was actually wrong about the scope of the sniper, because you do get this very nice red insert clear piece for the sniper scope. As for the runners themselves, okay, so these runners were printed in October of 2024, and starting with runner A from the original Gym Sniper 2, is a multicolor runner in 4 parts, white for some armor parts, including what looks like the shoulders and back skirt, a green clear part for the visor and camera, a blue part for what looks to be like the cockpit hatch, and then some gray frame parts for like thruster bells and vents and things like that. Runner B in a nice dark blue for armor parts for the torso, feet, and other parts. Runner C in white for some armor parts for the skirt and head, still from the original Gym Sniper 2 release. 2 of Runner D1 in white for various armor parts for the legs and ankles, and some armor parts for the arms. Runners E1 and E2 in this dark gray, still from the original Gym Sniper 2 for some various inner frame parts. Runner F also in dark gray for some more inner frame parts. Runner H in dark gray, this is still from the original Gym Sniper 2 release, except this runner, a few of these runners are going to be reused for the inner frame of the Master Grade Gundam ARC-78-2 2.0. Also from the ARC-78-2 2.0 for some more inner frame parts. A very large Runner J, also from the ARC-78-2 2.0 for some more inner frame parts, and you also see some piston details and things like that. And the only new main runner, specifically for the White Dingo, the runner design date was 2016, and as you can see, these are some extra parts for the backs of the hands, I believe some parts for the head, as well as parts for that Ground Gundam style shield, all nicely color separated. For beam effects, we have SB1 for standard 1/100 beam saber effect parts in clear pink. Very interestingly, we have runner 1100 MP1 for these very like real grade style ABS articulated hands. What makes this interesting is on the back here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it says the design date is 2022. Which is strange. So they might have done an updated re-release of the White Dingo with new hands, because too many people complained about the old ones. So we'll see if these are any better. Okay, I had to do a quick Google Lens check to see what this runner was from. Runner WP, starting with the Arsenal. The Google Lens translation for what this runner is from literally just said weapon. So this is what appears to be the EFF 90mm bullpup rifle, or bullpup machine gun. This runner was designed in 2016, presumably for this kit. I'm not sure what else it would have been used in. This runner that doesn't have any title, from a set of generic Earth Federation Forces 100 weapons set for the Ground Gundam style beam rifle and 100mm machine gun. Runner I from the Ground Gym for the beam sniper rifle used by this kit. As you can see, unfortunately, no color separation. This is all in dark gray. You will have to paint in the white to use with the White Dingo team, which is kind of disappointing. And Runner M from the Easy 8, which appears to be all the parts we're going to use to make the Hyper Bazooka. So with all those runners out of the way, I will see you after the build. I was about to start the build and I realized I missed this runner. This is runner PC202 for some polycaps for the Gundam 2.0 Master Grade build, because that was still when Master Grades were still using polycap builds. So now for real, I will see you after the build. Welcome back. So how about them birds, huh? I'm filming this a couple days after the Super Bowl. I have a friend who lives in Philly. Apparently it was complete chaos in the streets. Anyway, so I have the Master Grade Gym Sniper 2 White Dingo Team Custom built, panel lined, decaled, and top coated using Mr. Hobby Premium Flat Top Coat. I will mention before I say anything, I have made 3 kind of major mistakes while I was building this kit. 2 of them are very obvious, one of them is not. I will point them out as they come up. Now the build for this kit is remarkably solid. For I think it was $42, which is less than the price of a base F90. I was expecting something like a little kind of lackluster, I guess, but this kit has a reputation as one of the best Master Grades, if not the best Master Grade of 2017 for a reason. Everything goes together kind of sensibly. It was kind of simple. This kit went together faster than I was expecting, but there is no wasted parts or part separation or anything with this kit. Everything fits as you would expect. The Master Grade Gundam 2.0 frame parts, I was expecting to be a little cumbersome, but they weren't. They fit fine. The legs were a little loose on the hip, but you just have to kind of jam them into the polycap at the right angle for them to snap in. Otherwise, they will fall out very easily, so just be careful with that. I did have a couple of issues with the upper arm being a little loose on the shoulder peg, but that is kind of nitpicky. It's not like a deal breaker or anything. But yeah, this kit has a nicely detailed inner frame, everything you would expect from a modern Master Grade. Nub placement in general was quite good. You just need to be careful on the dark blue parts because, of course, darker color, any nubs will show up much more strongly than on the rest of the predominantly white kit. Aesthetically, this kit's very good. I really like the, you can very clearly see the inspiration from the Gundam because the Gym was basically a mass-produced Gundam. You can see it in the shoulders in particular, the way they're kind of squarish instead of being elongated outward like you would see with a lot of modern designs and later designs. And it's even a little more vertical than usual, which definitely contributes to a more interesting silhouette. The front skirts are very chunky, which is something I do like. I'm not really the biggest fan when they decide to shrink the front skirts. G-Quux. But, yeah, the skirt shapes in general I quite like. I think I'll mention it in the accessory section, but the beam sabers in the back, they have a kind of a unique flare out at the top that gives a kind of a flashlight silhouette. And the only other time I've seen that is on the Master Grade Hyaku Shiki 2.0. That has very similar, if not the same, mold for beam sabers. There's a lot of interesting detail kind of on the back of the elbow pads and on the sides of the shins. You have all those recessed circles. Apparently, according to the painted build on the back, it's supposed to be just completely black, but I painted it in kind of a gray so you can still see the detail inside. And the thrusters in the back and stuff also come in like two parts, an inner part and outer part. I thought it wasn't going to be color accurate, and you would have to paint the outer part in red or something. According to the painted build on the back of the manual and on the P-Bandai page, that is not the case. It's just supposed to be gray in two parts, which is good. There's a lot of nice inner frame vent detail poking out on the torso, kind of that unique separated cockpit door part. A very nice head sculpt, very nice detail inside of the eye, which you'll see when I pull up the head to do articulation later. The sculpt is very nice. Visually, this kit is pretty much just a color swap of the original Gym Sniper 2, so anything I say will apply to that. Except for the only visual difference is on the head. You see that on the Gym's right side there's a Vulcan pod instead of the usual kind of navy blue strip just covering up the center of the circle. But yeah, this kit is pretty much, well, the mobile suit itself is pretty much entirely color accurate. The accessories are a different story. We'll get to those later. So to point out where the stickers are used on this mobile suit, sticker 1 goes on a mono eye sensor underneath the visor. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a lot of very nice inner detail on there. I painted it in plated silver to help it pop out more. In person it pops. On camera I don't think it really does. But I also want to point out that I had accidentally, when I was spraying the top coat, accidentally left the visor up, so a bunch of top coat got on the visor. I had to sand that off with the glass file and then buff it out with a gun primer balancer to get it to go back to being mostly clear. Sticker 2, if you flip the visor down, is this large sensor behind the visor. Sticker 3 is behind this clear green part on the visor. It's just a reflective foil sticker to help the color pop more. And stickers 4, 5, and 6 are on the weapons, so I will talk about those later. For a quick size comparison, here it is next to a standard size high grade, being the high grade Blue Destiny Unit 1. And a standard master grade being Char Zaku 2 2.0. As you can see, it's slightly taller than the Zaku 2, making it about head height on par with any standard height Gundam. So for head articulation, of course, this like high performance sensor visor will flip down over the regular visor for when you want to snipe people with it. The head itself, well, oh yeah, so that's another thing. You can see that the actual ball peeking out of the neck is very shallow, which means the head will pop out very easily if you pull it up. So, which means that this is effectively the most it can look up, which isn't great, but that isn't really a problem because, well, it's the Gym Sniper 2. You want it to be looking down the sniper rifle, which is facilitated by this big neck hinge, and then it can look down extremely far, or you can kind of tilt that out and then turn the head to have it kind of peek down the scope easier, depending on how you're holding the rifle. The head will, of course, 360 on the ball joint. Just be careful, there's that little raised collar section will get in the way of the chin. Shoulders, you do have some nice swing out and forward, and yeah, you could pull the assembly out quite far. This is an incredible swing. You can get this, you can get a rifle support hand out as far as you want with this. This is ridiculous. The shoulder, of course, can rotate up to allow the arm to go almost entirely 180 degrees upward. You can pretty easily replicate the last shooting pose with this. Of course, 360 rotation. Rotation at the upper bicep. Just be careful because it will pop off the shoulder peg easily if you do it too much. A full double bend in the elbow. Now here's one of the parts that I messed up on this kit. This is the part that isn't obvious. I lost the poly cap for the left wrist. So a good thing I keep all of the leftover parts from my other kits. I managed to use a leftover poly cap from the Master Grade Exia Avalanche Dash. I just had to cut it in half and shave off the nubs on the outside to get it to kind of fit in the arm assembly. As a result, this wrist is a little loose, but that isn't a problem with the kit. Again, I messed up. So yeah. Now here's the main difference between this kit and the Gym Sniper 2 kind of mechanically, which are, this kit has these very real grade like fully articulated hands. Each finger is attached at the base separately with a ball joint that allows it to kind of do ball joint things. It's a little tight because top coat. And it can bend at each knuckle to make a nice full fist, but as a result of everything being separate and real grady, the kind of very small connection piece into the hand means the fingers fall out very easily. which is very annoying when you're trying to get it to oppose, especially closed fists. I find that these hands don't really want to cooperate when you make closed fists. You have to kind of take each finger out and work them individually to get a convincing closed fist. But yeah, for the torso, you do get some nice ab crunch forward and backward. The cockpit hatch is this top little ledge right there. Let me see if I can get that open. All right, so the cockpit hatch will swing open. You can see there's a seated pilot figure inside. Notably, we do not get a standing pilot figure, which is kind of disappointing. And the pilot figure, there's just a generic pilot figure, not a character from the like side story game that this mobile suit comes from. Now for the skirts, front skirts are on separate ball joints. They will go up about 90 degrees. Side skirts will also go up about 90 degrees. They're also on their own ball joints. Back skirt is fixed in place. You can kind of swing the beam sabers around. They're not really meant to move, they're just on a peg. But these holders can swing backwards a little bit or more flush with the back skirt. Alright, front leg, you can get a full 90-degree kick before the skirt is going to want to detach. Just be careful to lift the skirt beforehand, because otherwise it can get caught underneath the knee. Back kick, you're going to be very limited by this back skirt. Side raise. Oh, yep, there goes that loose hand again. Full 90 degrees. A nice full double bend at the knee. Rotation at the thigh, although it's not going to be very far. Ankles. Ankle armor will move a little bit, but not very far. The foot will tilt from side to side a decent amount. The toe is separated into 3 sections, so the entire front section will dip down for this very nice downward toe bend. Upward for this nice toe bend, and the front toe can move upward an additional amount. So yeah, overall articulation is quite nice, and of course the torso can swivel. Now for accessories, this is everything that comes with the Master Grade Gem Sniper 2 White Dingo Custom. And this is the real kind of star of the show. This is the main difference between the White Dingo Custom and the standard version. This massive weapon spread that comes from a variety of different kits. The 90mm bullpup rifle, it just comes with the standard Gem Sniper 2. The Hyper Bazooka comes from the Master Grade Easy 8. The beam rifle and the 100mm machine gun both come from a generic EFF weapon set that would have come with a bunch of different kits around 2000. And the long beam rifle comes from the Master Grade Ground Gym. Now, you might have noticed something with all the kits I mentioned. They are all from around 2000, which means they are 25 years old. Color separation, while the sculpt on these weapons are quite nice, color separation is very minimal. In particular, the beam rifle is all in gray, so all of this white is painted on. Same thing with the long beam rifle, which is, in my opinion, the most egregious part. They could have just designed a new runner and color separated it to be color accurate, because this is a very iconic part of the White Dingo Gem Sniper 2, but it's simple enough to paint in white. I just gave it a once over with a Gundam marker. But yes, for the rest of the stickers, sticker 4, I messed up. That was actually on the White Dingo. It's this little sticker underneath the Vulcan pod. Sticker 5 is on the bullpup rifle here for this lens sticker. And sticker 6 is the same for the beam rifle. Alright, so starting with the usual. So it will come with a action base adapter for getting into flying poses, 2 standard 1/100 beam effect parts in clear pink for the beam sabers mounted on the back skirt, and the 90mm bullpup rifle, which is very kind of, I don't know when this rifle was designed in the Gundam universe, but in the real world it's pretty much identical to like a QBZ-95, except with the magazine on the top instead of the bottom. With this, you also get 2 spare magazines, but with nowhere to store them on the kit. Those are pretty much extra parts unless you want to make a little diorama. The molded detail on this is quite nice. There's a lot of interesting geometry on it. There's even like a little, I don't know what exactly this would be, like a fire selector at the top molded in, which is quite cool. Yeah, this is a very nicely molded and detailed rifle. I will probably use this with another kit. I'll probably steal it for another kit, because I'm going to pose this with the long-range beam rifle, obviously. Here is the standard beam rifle from the 8th MS team that was given to Ground Gyms, Ground Gundams, etc. I'm not the biggest fan of this beam rifle design. I think it's supposed to be a developed, like, more mass-producible version of the ARC 78-2 beam rifle, but it just, I don't know. It just seems a little generic now. I know it was probably very interesting at the time, but now that we've seen so many different beam rifles in a bunch of different forms, this is kind of a little boring to me. This weapon is only 4 parts to have sandwiched together: the handle and the barrel. So part separation's not great. Molded details fine, but yeah, the lack of color accuracy really hurts that accessory. Here is the 100mm machine gun. This is one of the other parts I messed up. I dropped this while I was moving to top coat the kit, and the wire stock snapped. I have the plastic cemented back together, but I'm kind of afraid to move it in case it breaks apart. But yeah, everything on this is from that generic EFF weapon set I mentioned, except for the magazine, which is part of the one unique runner that comes, or the one unique non-hand runner that comes with the White Dingo Custom. Very nice molded detail. You have a secondary handle here that will fold out, and of course the wire stock can flip back, but try not to break it. Yeah, alright, the wire stock will flip back if you want. And there's some, I don't know how well you can see that, there's a lot of very nice like kind of texturing on the handle for this gun, which is kind of unexpected and quite nice. I don't think it will help the mobile suit hold on to it like it would in real life, though. The Hyper Bazooka from the Easy 8. I really like this design for the Hyper Bazooka. I think it's very cool. I like the top fed magazine. The general shape of it, I think, is very interesting. The kind of like industrial utilitarian aesthetic of everything kind of being like bolted plates together. These 2 green parts I painted in for the cameras. They're just gray on the Hyper Bazooka, and you don't get any stickers for them. The magazine is, of course, removable. Although, again, with nowhere to store them and no extras, there's not really a reason to remove it. And this back plate for balancing it on the shoulder will slide forward and backwards a little bit, depending on what pose you have it in. Unfortunately, this handle doesn't move at all, so getting it into a proper hold might be a little awkward. The main star of the show, the long-range beam rifle, with that very nice red jewel sticker in the scope. The secondary handle will move side to side, and like I mentioned earlier, this is not color accurate. These white parts are just all in gray, which is kind of egregious considering this is the main weapon of this mobile suit. But overall, the sculpt is quite nice. I will be posing it with this on the shelf. And of course, this very unique shield. This is the last thing I messed up. This decal kind of folded in on itself while I was getting it off the sheet of paper, and yeah, it led to this tearing. I think this would look fine if you have like any like weathering fluid on hand to weather it and make it look like it was like battle scarred. But yeah, as you can see on the back, this is kind of the standard Ground Gundam Ground Gym shield, just with this very large plate on the front to give it kind of a unfinished half shield look. A little peg for mounting it on the arm. This kickstand will fold up or down depending on what you need it for. There are some hollow spaces in the back, which I'm not super enthused by, but overall this is an interesting, unique accessory for this kit. So with that out of the way, let's get into some poses. So starting off in the usual running and gunning pose, this kit being based on the Master Grade ARC 78-2 2.0, at least in terms of frame, I'm surprised at how stable it is. This bodes well. I have the full armor Gundam coming in next month, so hopefully that can pull off this pose as well. This kit is remarkably stable. It can pull off this running and gunning pose with ease, with the 90mm machine gun here. The 90mm assault rifle, I mean. This kit, I thought the hands would be a problem, and they will be. Wait a little bit. But for this weapon in particular, it can hold on to it just fine. I'm surprised at how kind of easy and simple it was to get it to hold on and to get it in this pose in the first place. This kit definitely feels right on the ground, being a one-year war era suit. It looks good. It poses very stably on the ground, and I would definitely recommend you put it on the ground. Moving on to the 100mm machine gun, you might notice a finger is missing from the left hand. I tried to get it to hold on to the secondary handle on the 100mm machine gun. It just wouldn't. the fingers just kept popping out. I could not make it into a closed fist and have it convincingly hold it, so I just have it shooting over the shield here. The shield is definitely a unique shape. I think it adds to this kit, kind of the very sharp, flat angles of it. Definitely add to the kind of utilitarian, kind of very blocky look of a lot of one-year era suits, despite this kit in general having like very slender proportions, especially in the legs. The hands could also hold on to the 100mm machine gun just fine. This is definitely an option I would consider posing it with if you don't want to use the long-range beam rifle, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, the 100mm machine gun is fine. Getting it in the air for a charging pose with the beam saber. This is where the weakness of the hands really shows. I could not get it to grip tightly onto the beam saber. Maybe it's a me issue, I don't know. But I had a hard time getting it to kind of hold on to the beam saber convincingly. And considering this is the Gym Sniper 2, I get that the EFF uses the sniper designation to just point out like high performance like ace pilot suits, but still, like this is definitely a long range focused suit. I would not pose it with the beam saber, even though it looks good doing so. You can if you want. You can also give this beam saber to another mobile suit. I think the shape is definitely very interesting. It might be a little hard to get to hold on to things because it doesn't have a tab to secure it in the hand, but you can definitely give it to another suit and have it work. Moving on to the Ground Gundam style beam rifle and the usual downward seed-esque firing pose. This is where the problems begin to pop up in having the Gym hold onto the weapons. The beam rifle in particular had a really bad tendency to slip while I was trying to get the fingers to hold on. It kept like kind of tilting downward. It was very annoying to get it into this pose. I would not recommend you pose it with the beam rifle, especially because like it's just kind of a hassle for something that isn't really worth the effort. I don't really like this beam rifle design. It's not color accurate, you do have to paint it in. It's kind of simple to do so, but still it's another step that you shouldn't have to do on a modern master grade. And yeah, while you can't pose it with the beam rifle, I would not recommend it. Now, the most painful part of this kit, getting into this basic downward firing pose with the Hyper Bazooka. You might notice the left hand is, again, missing 1.5 fingers, as every time I was trying to get it into this pose, because the handle doesn't swivel at all, you have to get this wrist into this extremely awkward bent angle while still balancing it so it doesn't like kind of tip or slip out of the hand. The arm kept popping out of the shoulder, the fingers kept popping out of the left hand. It was just a complete mess to get it into, in the end, what is like a decent pose, but not something I would recommend using. This Hyper Bazooka really shows the age of some of the accessories in this kit. I do not recommend you pose it with the bazooka, despite how much I, in general, like the Easy 8's Hyper Bazooka design. Now, getting into the main attraction, the long-range beam rifle. Now, this has a very unique sculpt among beam rifles. I really like how this looks. It definitely feels just right posing the Gym with it, even though, similar to the Hyper Bazooka, it has a lot of trouble holding onto it. The handle where the trigger is very, chunky, and it's hard to get the fingers to grip onto it properly. But once you do, I think the results are more than worth it. Again, this is a suit that was designed to use sniper rifles, so it looks just right holding this. You prop it up on the shield, which is a little larger than a typical Ground Gundam style shield, and with that very flat top, it's very easy to balance the rifle on it. Having it stay stably in the Gym's grip once you have it propped up like this is easy enough. It looks great. The little jewel sticker in the scope definitely pops. I would 100% recommend painting the not color accurate parts white. It definitely adds a ton to this design. It helps it mesh with the mobile suit a lot better. So yeah, this rifle, despite the difficulties in getting the Gym to hold onto it, really brings the entire thing together. I really like this accessory. So in conclusion, the base mobile suit for the Master Grade Gym Sniper 2 White Dingo Custom is nearly perfect. There are a couple of issues with the arms popping out of the shoulders, but again, I think that's just me. I tried looking it up earlier. While people did have problems with the legs popping out because they weren't going into the polycap correctly, I couldn't really find anything about the shoulders, so I'm pretty sure it's a me problem. I will not count that against this suit. But yeah, the sculpt is nearly perfect. It poses great. Getting it to hold onto the weapons is a different story. But yeah, I mentioned the term Achilles heel earlier, and that definitely applies to this kit. The mobile suit, almost perfect, except for the hands. Getting it to hold on to most weapons is a gigantic pain in the ass. The Hyper Bazooka, it can barely hold on to. The beam rifles tends to slip out of the hands. The The 100mm machine gun is fine. The 90mm bullpup assault rifle holds on to great. The long-range beam rifle, you need to definitely work the hands into a decent pose, but once you do, it definitely looks fantastic. You can just leave it on the pose and just have it look cool. And would I recommend this kit? Absolutely, with an asterisk at the end. I say yes because this kit, the value it provides for $42 is incredible. The amount of accessories you get, the quality of the kit, all of this in an era where Bandai sees fit to release the Delta Zion for almost $80, like, this kit is incredible value for price, and you should definitely pick it up if you have the chance. Obviously not if it's being scalped. From what I understand, the base Gem Sniper 2, the base mobile suit is exactly the same, except with better hands with swappable style fingers, so I would absolutely recommend the base kit as well. So yeah, again, as long as you know what you're getting into with the color accuracy of the weapons and dealing with the real grade style hands, this kit is an easy recommend. So that was my review of the Master Grade Gem Sniper 2 White Dingo Custom. What did you think of this suit? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more reviews like this, please consider subscribing to this channel. Later on this week, I will be taking a look at the high-grade Cybaster Extra Finish version. I will see you next time.